Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning into this talk on digitizing cultural heritage, a public data innovation story. I'm PJ, and I'm an innovation lead at the IT government agency District 09, an agency working for the City of Ghent in Belgium. And I'm also one of the strategic coordinators of the European-funded Collections of Ghent project, which I'm zooming in on in this particular presentation. A heads up notice though is, although I work for an IT agency, I'm a social profile, and in my free time I'm also an avid open data advocate. Before we dive into what we mean by data innovation, I'll switch to a quick introduction video of what the Collections of Ghent project is really about.
Collections of Ghent. Explain briefly. Ghent's heritage institutions and museums are preserving an enormous amount of cultural heritage. At the same time, the citizens of Ghent possess a treasure trove of knowledge and stories. For Collections of Ghent, the city and its museums and archives are collaborating with partners from the corporate, cultural, and academic world. We are digitizing an invaluable collection of more or less 100,000 objects, stories, and documents. This collected heritage will converge in Cohent, an immersive, high-tech, and mobile experience room. The collection will be an intersection where heritage, research, and technology will meet. We can tell even more. In 2022, Collections of Ghent will tour in 3 specific neighborhoods: Vondelhem, Watersportbaan Eckerhem, and Tolhuis Slissekenhem. In the Cohent immersive space, people can discover cultural heritage as well as share their own stories about that heritage and add them to the collection. Collections of Ghent offers a unique opportunity for museums to reach new audiences. Furthermore, the project aims to strengthen social cohesion and inclusion in the 3 neighborhoods. This process will be extensively researched and monitored by Ghent University. In the end, the Collections of Ghent will really belong to the people. After traveling through the different neighborhoods, in 2023, the project will get a permanent space at DING, the new wing of Design Museum Ghent. Want to find out more? Subscribe to our newsletter on the website.
So hi, welcome back. That video always saves me a bunch of time explaining the project in very general terms. And now that's out of the way, I really want to focus on how we're trying to achieve this, because that's what I believe fellow creative bureaucrats like yourself want to know more about, and how they can learn from such a data innovation project. Now, to fit this into the short video format of today, I've narrowed it down to a 5-layer model in order to perfect data innovation in local government or government on much broader terms. And the first layer I want to focus on is the data layer, and it's all about breaking silos, because although the question came from one particular museum, the Design Museum Ghent, our digital colleagues at the museum quickly realized that this challenge was bigger than them if they wanted to share data with fellow museums, researchers, and even citizens. So they've invited 4 other Ghent cultural institutions with different types of collections in order to work on this project. So we had, for example, a lot of immaterial heritage from the Huis van Alleen, a very diverse archive from the Archive of Ghent, also a diverse collection from the Stam, the City Museum, of course from the Design Museum Ghent themselves, and also a lot of industrial heritage from the Industry Museum. So rather than running away from diversity, we embrace it and look towards a scalable way of connecting these different collections. Now, in the second layer, the key ingredient in order to break those silos is being as open as possible. So as the Open Knowledge Foundation puts it beautifully, open knowledge is not just about opening data, it's also by making it useful, usable, and used by your target group, whether it's academics, citizens, other companies and museums, and so forth. And that's exactly the approach and mindset that we've put forward. not just on opening data, but on how we can use, for example, open data standards to make our way of working more scalable. And also how we can publish technical components under open source licenses to be transparent on a technical level. And another one is on how we can put cultural heritage assets and images that are connected to that metadata under open content licenses and labels, so that it really enables reuse on all different levels, not just the data level, but also the images behind the data. And that brings us, of course, to our target group, layer 3, is really making the citizen an actor in this project and not just a test subject, a user that we validate our technology with. And we do that by engaging them on two different levels. The first level is by what we call the co-creation fund, where we invite both citizens, companies, civil society organizations, and so forth, and ask them what they would build with cultural heritage data in order to prove connections within the city and improve social cohesion. And they can suggest things like podcasts, theaters, interactive installations, and neighborhood interventions, whatever they can come up with. And they cannot just propose ideas, but also receive funding to execute them. A second part is the Cultural Data Lab, where we've set up a physical forum for experimentation on a technical level ourselves. So by organizing talks, workshops, hackathons, community events on cultural heritage data, we strive to engage people into really reusing this data to its maximum potential, but also challenging us on how we could do better and improve usability of that data. The fourth layer is about context and really preventing from working in a vacuum. Because we mentioned the Ghent box, the immersive space in the introduction video, and it's an idea that we had from the consortium on how we can bring digital heritage collections back to life in the physical space. But we would not be able to test its full potential if we put this box full of technology in a public space without any context. So in order to do this, we've been working with community workers, storytellers, and historians in the neighborhood to really activate that neighborhood and its citizens around the usage of cultural heritage. So that it's not just about showing heritage, but also to connect, to contribute to the collection, and to again use the collection as a conversation starter. And to finish it off, layer 5 is about having the right partners to execute. This project would not even exist if we didn't bring the knowledge and expertise together from both the local government partners, cultural institutions, academia, non-profit and civil society organizations, and companies all working together. Because granted, having such a big group of organizations working on such a big challenge is a challenge of itself. But the proverb that alone you can go faster, but together you can go further and really create impact is very true in this case. So I'm afraid my time is running out. I would love to talk to you guys more about one or more of these layers and how we approach this in the Collections of Ghent project in more detail. So feel free to vote, and maybe I'll see you all in Berlin to elaborate on this. And I'm also happy to discuss this with fellow bureaucrats on this particular topic. So here are my contact details if you want to know more or want to make contact. And yeah, that's really about it. I hope to welcome you all in Ghent soon to come and check out our immersive space and our different activities. And that only leaves me to thanking the Urban Innovative Actions UEA program for this amazing project opportunity, and also the Creative Bureaucracy Festival for this speaking opportunity. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.